Our dear viewers watching us on live here on Tuchikube on the ShanieShow Let's Talk, most welcome. Those watching us live and those watching us online. We are happy to have you back again today, and I'm glad to introduce to you our guest tonight, none other than Mr. Julius Kabugu. Mr. Julius Kabugu, you're most welcome. We are happy to host you here on the ShanieShow. He's actually our first community leader that we have hosted here on the ShanieShow, and we are grateful that you did our invitation. Tweyanziza nnyo ssebo kuba nti wakkiriza okusaba kwaffe tukukyazeeko wano ku the ShanieShow on Tuchikube. Those that don't know Mr. Julius Kabugu, he's a community leader, but before he became the community leader, he has been very influential in UNA, mostly to do with the activities of UNA. And I will read his biography. So here is Mr. Kabugu. Mr. Kabugu is a software engineer and engineering manager by training, alumni of Colorado Technical University, Makera University, and King's College. He works with a company, it's a credit score company in the field of data management and analytics. And he says that in terms of community service, he has served in various capacities at the Uganda North American Association as the communication director, and also as the Miss UNA North American Leadership Program. And he has, of course, contributed in terms of reviving the organization newsletter, increasing membership, partnership, the convention, and redesigning of the website, and then also strengthening the sponsorship relations and delivering the first ever online UNA convention during the pandemic. So this is the gentleman that was behind the cameras, Teka convention, first ever, like he said, the online UNA convention that we had. But of course, Mr. Kabugu, I'll go ahead and give you akakisa osobola okweyanjulira abalabi baffe abatulaba n'abatuwuliriza babadde balinze dda okuwulira okuva gy'oli. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantal. Tuvudde wala. And I'm so excited okulaba nti olina show wano ku Tuchikube. Tuchikube twagitandikawo ng'omuzannyo idea. Twagitandika idea. Chicago convention, I remember, which was very successful. Naye nsanyuse nnyo okulaba nti mukitutte mu maaso ne mukikozesa okusupporting abantu ne community, promoting a convention. I think buli kimu mukikola kuva mu mutima. Kyamaanyi nnyo, mwebale nnyo omulimu gwe mukola. Nsanyuse nnyo okubeera ku sheno. Mbalamusizza mwenna abatulaba. Mpozi Shani kyewerabidde okwogerako nti ni musajja mufumbo, family man. I have 3 children going into 9 years of marriage. My wife Tiba is the president of the Miss Uganda North America Leadership Program. Era mutumidde nnyo. Mbalamusizza mwenna. Thank you for having me. I also bring greetings from the Ugandan community in Austin, Texas. Tukula ku speed y'amaanyi, tetulina community togetherness ey'amaanyi, era abantu abagamba nti nandyagadde okubeerako abantu abalala oba graduated, I'm looking for where to start my career. Austin, Texas is one of the #1 destinations in the US right now. Era if you want to move here, we more than welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you, Julius. Actually, okusembyayo ekyokuba nti oli mufumbo kabadde kakodyo kuba abantu wedda bambuuza bannange bw'oleeta mufumbo si mufumbo nga wedda nkasembyayo naye
nkakugjeemu
okanzijeemu naye yes, he is still on the ShanieShow. I'm your host today, Chantal, and of course we still have Julius Kabugu in the studios and Mr. Salongo behind the cameras. Mr. Salongo bakutumidde nnyo ne bagamba nti kyetukola wano ku Tuchikube ky'amaanyi kuba nti abantu bafa mu communities tubatuusaako buli ekiba kigenda maaso wano mu North America. So Julius, leero tukuleese otubuulire otutambuza olugendo obadde ne UNA ebbanga ddene mu abantu abawangaalira mu UNA ebibaamu ebimpi ebiwanvu ebikko byonna obirabyeko byonna obibaddemu, and people have been wondering who can share the story, who can tell us, ani asobola otunnyonnyola ddala kiki yuna kyeri, and of course some people associate the convention n'ebintu by'amasagenda kucakala kuvaayo, but I know that people who have been with UNA for a long time, they have a story to share. And of course, with the Miss UNA program, definitely you can say something about it. Kubanga, those are some of the programs ezibadde mu UNA tenga zina impact because we bring stories here on the ShanieShow to inspire people to know that it's doable, to know that there are services out there, to know that services are available, information is available, just not the right source. And of course, we bring people here to share such kind of information. So, Mr. Kabugu, you're very, very free actually okwogera mu Luzungu n'Oluganda. Tutambule bwetyo. The reason why we invite people here, and then we also want to make it local for our people following us. Abantu bafa abawansi munange ffe n'abantu bansi tubakiikirira. Tuba twagala batambule naffe bategere kiki twogera.
Ekintu kye nsinga okwagala ku America eno kyesooka okuyigiriza nti teri muntu wa wansi.
Fenna tuli ba waggulu.
Fenna tuli ba waggulu. Oba okolera Disney, oba okola mu Walmart, fenna tuli ki? Tewali muntu wa wansi.
Tewali muntu wa wansi. But maybe muntu wa wansi in terms of profile. Naye nga mu nsimbi.
Obukitegeera. Ndokuba bank account n'otya.
Okitegeera.
Nga bannange. Ono bulijjo ono.
Kati nsaba otutambuze oyingira ddi mu
UNA eno najingira sometime close to the Seattle convention. Bwe tudde emabega eyo n'aba mwaka ki 2015 n'aba mwaka ki eyo. It was ejja kuba 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, so we twatandikira awo omwami Peter Mukunya ne John Julius Kabugu ne Monday Atigo. They were my executive. And they approached me kaganga bagala okubayambako okuleta UNA ku mutindo in terms of our technology presence. And kwezo twali tulina ebintu nali nkyabera Denver, Colorado. Nga tulina ebintu beera involved in mu community awo tukolayo twalina magazine ya culture nga bagiyita My African Roots, nga tukolayo cultural events mu community, fashion shows, photo shoots, kweganga balabira ddala ekintu kino ekyokwagala community tukikwasiza waggulu ne wansi. Ndowooza ne babeera impressed ne bagamba you guys would play a wonderful role in UNA. And so me personally, they approached me from an aspect of helping out as a director of communications. And I didn't know what I was walking into, but it is UNA and it is an opportunity to serve. And I said, let's try and see what happens. And it has had ups and downs, of course. Nakwezo UNA ngabo manyi yaina some kind of buvuyo in terms of people bagezako taking over website tuzezo nazo tuzirwanye ne tuziwangula. After that to redesign the website ne tugireta ku mutindo. Tutandika okukola emirimu kati egyali gyetaagibwa okukola okukulaakulanya ekitongole kino ekibiina. Ne tutandika ku approaching our sponsors with a rebranding, I would call it. We decided we wanted to rebrand. And one of the key programs that we introduced as part of rebranding was Miss Uganda North America. We wanted to appeal to youths and we wanted to really be impactful. And so that program twagitandikawo kwegamba before Miss UNA yalinga fashion show. Tugamba that's not impactful enough, you know. Full leadership program, we approach abawala abali of college age kwegamba ne babanga we participating mu kintu kino. It's not just for fashion show, naye balina kye bakifunamu in terms of leadership training and also creating bonds that will take them far in life. So it was a big hit. Then on top of that, of course, we rebranded Yuna as a brand. We started approaching sponsors with very considerable benefits to sponsoring Yuna, things like revamping the newsletter, the program book, nebibanga byonna bwe sending out communications nabo baziraba ne bagamba wow. So we really twateka mu nkola a lot of stuff kwegala bya impressing nnyo ba sponsors. Kani tulabanga we are beginning to get their interest again to be involved in the organization. And so those are some of the proudest moments for me, being a director of communications in Yuna. And I'm so delighted that it has carried on with the new executive. Ndaba kati chintu era bongero chikwasa amaanyi. I've worked with Henrietta and Lambert closely, Madam President and Executive Secretary and VP mbatumidde nnyo mwenna. Mwebale kukola mulimo. Sometimes you do work and you step away and people destroy. And I'm so proud that they've just kept going higher and higher despite all the challenges. Ndowooza byebyo bye nsobola okwogera ku journey yange through Yuna, Chantal. Some of the other things that I think bye twatandikawo kwegamba ebikyakula. Me personally, one of my pet projects was a program called Professionals Connect. We gather information about professionals in the United States who are Ugandans, with a vision of starting to get them together in smaller gatherings across our different states. There's so many benefits that can come out of connecting professionals. Twina abaana bava mu college beetaga guidance for careers. Twina abantu abali mu professional lives. They've been working 5 years, 10 years, no promotion. Yebuuza nfukako di manager. So those are the things that kuyambagana netwekola we pull ourselves up. So that's one of the things that I still envision in Yuna. But we started it and we are making small strides.
Okay, thank you, Julius. Actually, I was going to ask you, Chichicho Singo kwenyumizamu, being part of the rebranding of Yuna. Teno kulaba nti machas, you go to a point and did you retire or bakugoba?
I resigned because I believe in giving everything, and because I give everything, I like to take a break. I think community service is a service to people, and so it's not a title, it's not power. So when you're given the opportunity to lead, you lead, and then when you want to step aside and let someone else try some new ideas, you step aside and let people try new ideas. Nekyensinga okwenyumirizamu was just how sponsors were delighted with the rebranding we did for Yuna. Twagendanga Uganda and twingira offices nga the respect is there for the brand. Kweganga balaba ekintu kye tukola kiri classy and catering to sponsors. Nga basponsor bajja in the US nga we take care of them very well and we deliver on the marketing promises. And for me as a professional, also being on the ground in Yuna, people come to Yuna conventions, believe it or not. Not everyone has all the information, right? Omuntu tamanyi obulusa ajja mu convention tamanyi nti alina okusasula hotel. Naye nga obanga tofa ku bantu, omuyitako mu lobby nga ali confused n'ogamba this person is confused, right? Notebuuza lwaki ali stuck. Naye building a culture ndowooza naawe ojjukira how nice we were when dealing with people in the convention. Ng'omusanga mu lobby n'omu approaching n'omugamba how can I help you? N'akuwa ekizibu oba anoonya hotel, no searching a hotels nearby. N'omufunira an affordable hotel. N'omulaga how to book Uber n'agenda mu hotel. Oba just directing people where they need to go, where they need to be. Kwegamba ebintu ebyo byampanganya essanyu okulaba nga convention etambula nga people know where to go for information, and I hope it continues to be like that at conventions.
Okay, actually kintu kirungi nnyo okuba nti abantu abamu balowooza nti bw'obeera mu kifo, I would actually ask you, no resigning nga n'olekawo ekifo ekisava bwe kityo. I would be asking you, Julius, ekifo ddala ekisava ekyo ebisente bye bakusasula awo n'okirekawo. Muneetuwulira nti emisaala mufuna gy'amaanyi.
Nange bwe mpulira mu nkuba eyo naye it's really service. We love it. I feel like it's a calling,
Yes.
Looking back, Nogamba or spending sleepless days, ngokola convention materials, nokola program book, inakuwa ready mnakusatu. Nina money, you've done it. It's a thankless job, but we do it anyway because there's nothing better we would do really than serve our people.
Yeah, actually, one would be asking, what is it? What is the benefit of value addition to a given? It could be local community, it could be UNA as a whole. Gw'osuubira kino kyongerako ki?
Community, UNA.
Yes, community. Oba nga community gy'oliidira as a leader. Yes.
Yeah, I think that as communities across the country, tulina bingi ebyokwegako, right? And UNA is supposed to be the umbrella organization that brings us together. I know abantu abasinga batwogera ku UNA supporting organizations, tulowooza community development fund zijjaddi naye nga there's a lot. So I think UNA over the last couple of years it has maybe died down a bit. Now organizations actually used to hold meetings at UNA conventions, right? When you think outside of local communities, you think of cultural groups, right? Or professional groups. UNA at the convention have a free space to hold any kind of gathering that you want to hold. We have seen forums like the Women Empowerment Forum. We've seen Miss Uganda North America thrive. We've seen, of course, the Trade and Investment Forum, but we've also seen other forums, smaller ones, that have also excelled at the UNA convention, like Northern Uganda Forum, for example. This is because where else would you have a platform like this where all of you are gathered together and now you take the opportunity and meet, right?
Yes.
And then local communities, of course, wetubanga tukwasaganye wamu as members of this organization. We saw what the pandemic did to us. We could have easily found ourselves with a community that was stuck with too many cases of the pandemic and they could have needed financial aid. And it's only UNA that we could look up to maybe help to chip in a little bit more than local communities could. So wetugamba nti musasule membership. This is what we mean. You do not know what's coming, but when it comes, UNA has to be ready. So this is the benefit of being at least a partner of UNA.
Okay, thank you. We're still here on the Shani Show, and your host tonight is Chantal, and I'm still having Julius Kabugu. He's the kati bakwita chairman, president, CEO wa Austin community. Ebitiibwa saagala bisobya.
Wangamba true title bagita chairperson.
Okay.
Mu constitution.
Okay. He's the chairperson of Austin community in Texas, and we did host him here on the Shani Show to talk. Atubuulira how he got involved in UNA, how he supported UNA, and of course these are other stories that we want to bring to our people. Abantu bategeere abamu munange omanye ebintu babiwulira bulala naye bwe mujja ne mutubuulira wano mmwe abakibaddemu abantu bategeera ate bategeera from the horse's mouth.
Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? It's your boy DJ Pade. As always, I'm always there in UNA. Please, I beg. Just register. Get your room ready. Boat cruise ready. We'll be in San Francisco September 1st and 2 whenever. Just be there. Just come through. Bring your girlfriend. Bring your friend. Bring everybody. We'll be entertaining you all day, every day, all night. See ya.
And yes, Julius, tubadde tutambula ozotubuulira bw'ofuuka communication director in UNA ozotambula. UNA eno ogirabye otya from all these years? Gwenga gwe ogirabye otya?
Nja kugamba nti there may never be a prouder moment for me than being the director of communications for UNA. Organization abantu abasinga bagirabira ku waliwo abantu babika bibiri abalaba UNA n'omugaso n'abayo n'abagitunda ne bagamba bano bakola biki. Naye kyemmanyi nti bw'oyingira n'obeera involved mu UNA ojjamu so much value nti weesanga nga tosaana givaamu, right? It's a very important sense of belonging in UNA. So that for me, UNA Chenjirabamu is your first point of belonging, you know, and it's not unique anywhere you go in this world, especially when you're a person in the diaspora, whether you're from Nigeria, or you're from Kenya, or you're from India, Mexico, you have to have something that brings all of you together. And for us, it is UNA. And despite all the challenges that we see mu myaka gino gyonna, I've always seen it as a sense of identity and belonging for our members. In terms of the journey, COVID came and hit us. I think we've had a very strong leadership. I would like to really commend them for holding things together, because I think we all lost a certain sense of direction through this pandemic. Now, other than the pandemic, I think it was an organization on the way up, and so we should keep going. Really, it's on the way up. There are so many opportunities that we can create value for our people. For example, the online convention was the first convention where we held an awards show or an awards segment where we recognized leaders in our community that have been impactful. And I think those are the things we have to make sure they do not die down, right? Because that is how you see an organization that is on the way up. I think there are things we have to talk about, like, is our membership fee enough? Your discussion, bantu bagala tujikwata. Naye nze njikwatako olwengenda. Is it enough? What more can we do for our future generations, right? Ina kati weri eriwo ku lwaffe. Naye teterina kubaawo ku lwaffe, erina kubaawo ku baana baffe. Nti omwana bwa exceringa mu ssomero talina kusasula college tuition, right? Ku bantu abamuwa scholarship baba balina okusooka mu line nekimuwa 15,000 nemutumga agenda osome, right? Yes, tetunnatuuka awo, naye ku bintu byonna tuze tukola, that was the journey, era tulina okusigala ku mulamu ogwo. I think there's a lot of potential in the organization.
Okay, abalabi baffe abalungi nga tukyali wano ku ShanieShow, abakulembeze ndowooza muwulidde okuviira ddala ku president, secretary, treasurer, VP, muwulidde kye tulina okukola oba ssente muzongezeza membership, n'ekirala okubeera nti keep on the good job that you're doing. Also keep on initiating those programs that motivate our communities, appreciating them, recognizing their efforts in communities is really, really good. Nga tukyagenda mu maaso ssebo oli director of communication. Of course otubuulidde biki bye wali okola kati nga omuntu eyali part of the Miss UNA.
Nakakopo kasiyato by the way, so nyo ku interrupting.
Naye bannange era abakulu mwe mubifuna kati ffe wano ku ShanieShow otuleeteddeyo. ShanieShow naffe otuleeteddeyo kakopo.
Mbadde nsaba Shane bweggwa mumeyo nkebereyo nsangeyo ka t-shirt ka ShanieShow.
Ebintu bijja era that being said, people who want to advertise with us, you can follow us on all our social media platforms, and you can also send us an email, and of course let people know about your businesses, what you have to offer here on tuchikube.com. Wokka wogenda okusanga buli katale abanoonya ebyamaguzi, abatambuza ebyamaguzi wano ku tuchikube.com. And of course tubeera n'emiwendo emisaamusaamu kuba tumanyi nti this is a community service, this is a community program wetutuusaako abantu baffe amawulire. Kati ssebo tugende, waŋŋambye Dagwe chairperson wa Austin community. Actually, I never congratulated you, Sebo. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Neka tokyatuuka. Anganga naye Julius naye kati munnange.
Tokyatuuka. Nina entourage.
Nina entourage. Wandiika bbaluwa.
Yenze kubadda. Ne wajja mu State House. Ne bakubuuza idea waffe.
Okay. Okay, so Sebo, take us through what motivated you to, did you run? Did they vote you or you just offered to become the chairperson?
There was a vote, but I was unopposed, which I don't know if it's good or bad. Awambagamba, gundi wachikuttemu. Naye, no, community yaffe, ezze kula ku speed y'amaanyi. Bwe twajjira wano mu 2017, I moved from Denver to Austin in 2017 nga ndoza n'ebitaano tetuwera. Ndoza tuyinza okuba twali tetuwera bitaano.
Bannayuganda oba community?
Bannayuganda, yes. Naye within 3-4 years tuyinza n'okuba nga tuyita mu 1,000. Tuyinza okuba mwe tuli muno mpola mpola because Austin is big on tech. Betutanna meeting abali mu technology bebangi n'okusinga betu meetings. Ekwanjukira that people in technology are naturally introverts. Tebatera kujja mu bintu. So mwe bali bangi. I was unopposed because I think I had served a lot, and so the idea for us to change executive was actually voluntary by the executive at that time. Kitaba COVID. Yeah, so the people abali koko executive, Mwami Fred Byabaje, that time treasurer Betty Wako, secretary Nitunze, and then we have a vice. They were in a vice at that time, so we had a committee of 3, and they just decided that they had led enough, and they wanted to hand over the guard. And at that point, they had registered the organization as a non-profit, fully registered with the Secretary of State. And so there was an election. There were some positions that were contested, and there were some positions that were unopposed. And that's how we came to be the new executive. My vice president, Wamita Ivan Katumba. My treasurer is still Betty Waku. And the secretary is Gabi Nintunze. So, we are here serving.
Okay. So you did mention that in 2017, there were about 500 Ugandans in Austin, and you say that there are more than 1,000. Abantu bano obategeera otya, obamanyi otya?
I think it starts with having an open heart. Because when you go out and socialize and you meet a person who's a Ugandan and you give them a hug and you give them a very happy welcome to the community, the next person that they meet who's Ugandan, who has never met other people in the Ugandan community, will be like, oh, you should meet these people because they are nice, right? So for us, it has been word of mouth. We don't really go out to search for Ugandans in the community. Na baba later, word of mouth, one by one. Every gathering we have is bigger than the last one, because so far our community has had such a wonderful relationship with each other. tuzannya omupiira buli Sunday, for example. So when you go to the pitch to play football, once in a while you find a new face. We make them feel welcome. They'll never stop coming. And that's how we have seen the community grow, is by just having open hearts and just loving each other in this community. Yes.
Okay. I believe that is a role that comes with a lot of responsibilities. And I know by the time you offered to serve, you had looked at the requirements of being a chairperson of the community. Is Austin community in partnership with UNA? Is it part of UNA?
Yes, actually, Austin is a UNA chapter. And so its official name is UNA Austin. Okay. Now, what we don't want to do is say alienate people and whatever UNA member to say we're part of Austin community, right? So it's a very distinct separation of duties, if I may. Now, we really ensure that our members in the community are also UNA members, because it is very important. UNA has supported us a lot, and so we must support it back. We are proud to be one of the recipients of the Community Development Fund, and it has helped us really to bring our people together and be very supportive of them. And so when it's time to vote, we all go to the UNA convention to elect our future leaders. And I hope other communities also take more and more steps like that, because for us, we go in a convoy. Austin community, tujja mbungi era ne convention eno tujja. So
ogenze n'oyogera ku kintu nti muli UNA chapter nogamba nti yo UNA Austin community. Ekintu ekyo nandikusabye n'okinyonyola abalabi baffe abatulaba olwaleero oba abatuwuliriza oba communities out there who don't know how to be involved in UNA activities or to be part or to be a chapter of UNA, like you mentioned.
Really, becoming a UNA chapter is about you as a community passing a resolution as the executive of that community. And you say, are we going to be a chapter of UNA? Do we see ourselves as an extension of UNA in the community, right? Think of activities like national ID registration, right? If UNA wants people in Texas to sign up for national ID registration, UNA has options, because Dallas is UNA DFW, UNA Dallas Fort Worth, and Austin is UNA Austin. And so they know that if the president or the VP or the executive secretary needs to travel to Austin, or the embassy officials need to travel to Austin to do national ID registration, just by extension, we are obliged to welcome them and support their activities as UNA in our local communities, because after all, they're serving us. So I think really to become a UNA chapter is about you as a community deciding that you want to be an extension of UNA in your community. And it doesn't change anything about how you do your business as an organization. It simply means that your relationship with UNA is official and you're officially affiliated. Yes.
Okay, actually, I want to ask you or because right now you know the benefits of being a UNA chapter. Otugambyeko nti ka community development fund kayite wammwe tujja kubuuza zaali mmeka naye nja kubuuza zaatuuka naye ddala kituufu bazigaba
zo bazigaba ate zijja straight to bank account kati teziyitana mu. I like the new process. It has been here for about 3 years. Nti bank account ogiwaayo era zijja direct ku bank account. Tebiri nti ate gundi eyafunye sente ate yazitute mu account. Tebiriwo. Era it is interesting kuba waliwo twawaayo bank account nga routing number tugi mistakings. Era ne batukubira ne batugamba nti mwabitegedde tezigenda kujja cash up. We're not correcting a routing number, right? So there is a lot of accountability there. Era zijja tuyamba nnyo in our activities. Yes.
UNA yezibawanga UNA oba embassy yezibawa?
Embassy is delivering, right?
But with
Yes.
a recommendation from you.
Recommendation of UNA, of course. The organization must be vetted as a UNA chapter or UNA affiliate before that money is delivered. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Name accountability.
Yes, to accountability. Of course, it depends on who is in charge at UNA. But as a non-profit registered with the Secretary of State, accountability is required. And so when UNA says, please send your reports, we just get them from the treasurer and send over. But I don't know if every organization is requested to submit them. Nayenga, I'm sure UNA vets your status as a non-profit. And so there is some already assurance that you're a fully audited organization.
Okay. And of course, for transparency, to show nti ebintu mubikola mu butuufu, ebintu mubikola mu bwerufu, then giving you accountability, kiraga how responsible the community is or the leadership. Yeah.
So, I think it's a good idea to enforce it really.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Tukyatambula tuzze tumaliriza community, tumaliriza convention ite tunagimaliriza. Ngenda kuzaayo Julius emabega katono convention. I know you've been instrumental, and you did mention it in your bio that you have helped revamp the registration and then also ensuring that people become members. Ekintu kino okikoze otya nga tuze tulaba emivuyo mu registration gwe wabitabulanga eyemanye wabitereza?
Ekintu kya registration ekyo kati ogamba convention registration ku floor oba ogamba member registration?
Kati tugenda kutandika ku member registration.
Member, okay. Kakati ekintu ekyakisinga okutawaanya members for registration was simply how to register, right? And that is all we realized, is that if you reduce the number of times people call you saying I can't register, you're automatically increasing the number of memberships in UNA. Because, especially around election time, you see that an election adds value. It's in some way to people, because baino omuntu waabwe astaninze baino mulonda ne badduka ne bakola ki ne baregisteringa. Kati tulina okulaba ekintu ekyo ne tugamba nti kati emyaka egitalimu elections value ki gye tugenda okuwa abantu eyongera okuba exciting nga bakola ki, kuba kati olabye ddala nti membership baagala omusasula, right? Baagala kubeera nga balaba more and more value in what their membership is doing. So ffe twajjawo ezo hiccups eza how to register for the convention, ate registering ate olina okukubira omuntu ogambe walabye payment yange nti ate receipt ya print nze, and then twatekawo reminders when your membership is going to expire in a month, you receive an email with a link how to go and renew your membership.
Renew your membership, yes.
So byonna ne tubiteekawo kati, for us it became really hands-free, that we see memberships coming in. Okay. Yeah, so for membership, that's all we've done really, is to improve the registration experience, but also to give thought to how we add value to membership.
And of course, I know change is abantu abasinga tebagala change. Abantu abasinga tebagala nkyukakyuka. Naye olowooza going forward ng'abakulembeze abali mu kulembera kati bw'osuubira bandikoze batya nga bw'oyogedde to increase membership, not only the time for elections but also ne gino emyaka egitali mu kulonda. Olowooza ka incentive ki ke tuyinza okuwa abantu ne baba nti bajjumbira to stay as active members?
I think there are aspects nyingi mu kintu ekyo. I think ffe ng'abantu tulina okutandika okulaba in organization nti John F. Kennedy, I think, said, it's not what you can do for your country. I mean, it's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country, right? So, tulina okulekera okulaba organization eno nti etukolera ki, nene twebuuza nti ffe nga yuna kuba abaana baffe bajja kututunulira all of us mwenga yuna mwakola ki tebajja kugamba nti yuna executive y'omwaka guno yakola etya no bajja daddy mami mu myaka gyammwe mwakola ki right so kati tulina okutandika okulaba nti what's our legacy as Ugandans in the diaspora of this generation living in North America today kiki tulekawo ng'abantu tandikira awo right kati bula nabuuziza luli nti membership gwe tusasula really is it enough to build a legacy
ebyo nja kubizaayo eri bamemba
Mulira. Yes so kati awo tutandikira kakati then our leaders balina okwechallenging ne babuuza nti what is the vision for our legacy gye tulina okusetinga abantu bagambe nti kati eno vision gye tusetinze and this is what is going to take for us to get there right so I think abakulembeze balina okuteekamu essira mu kintu ekyo vision. What is the vision for UNA membership? What will it do? What will it do for future generations? What will it create as a legacy for us today? And then from there, then the membership fee becomes, automatic. Kind of. Of course, change is hard. Eri abajja okuba amameza nga tugambye nti to increase the membership fee. Naye ate kijja kusikiriza bangi abalala abatakirimu kuba bagamba nze ngamba $2 olumu ngamba nezigenda kukola ki right nete ngamba 10 nja kubuuza kati mbulya kizigenda okukola tula wano ate ombulire naawe ng'olina amaanyi kuba naawe olaba sente ziwera tugenda kukola ebintu eby'amaanyi right abantu asinga kinazuula tebaagala nti bakifunamu ki but baagala kulaba nti what pride does it create right yeah so we have to really embark on creating pride and legacy and then we can talk about increasing that membership.
Thank you so much, Julius. We are still here on the ShanieShow. Wano kutuchikube wetubaletera amawulire ne tuleta abantu abo community yaffe wano mu North America, and today we have Julius Kabugu. He's the chairperson of the Austin community. Like he said that I know simanyi oba newammwe mu Austin ewammwe nti people pay membership, but enewaffe gye tuli we pay membership. Tusasula membership kubanga esente ezo zeziddukanya emirimu, but like what you said, people need to have a sense of belonging to these communities, to this organization, to UNA as a whole. Noba nti ekintu okyenyumirizaamu nti ne bakugamba okusasula oyinza obutabuuza naye olw'obwagazi. And then also leaders in various positions nabo balina okujja ne babulira abantu baabwe ne balaga value for money ne bagamba fine musasudde $10 but this is what it's going to do. Kubanga emirundi egisinga olaba leaders in UNA they labor to come and explain to people nti bwe musasula sente bweziti oluusi tukola ABCD but we've not been able to achieve ABCD kubanga tetuyina funds, kubanga tetuyina busobozi. So I think it's the onus is upon all the leaders to come out and tell people or show people value for their money. And then also naffe ng'abantu ba members ba UNA twagala ebibiina byaffe, twagala communities zaffe nti bwe bagamba okusasula $5 for membership ate bannange tukikole n'obwagazi, because gwe ng'omuzadde bw'okikola n'obwagazi n'omwana wo kyajja okulaba bw'anaakula ajja kugendera kwekyamanye mu Ugandan community no basasula membership. Kati n'omwana n'otandika omunyonyola bw'osasula bw'oti bw'otuuka age of voting osobola okulenda abakulembeze bo, tubeera ne event mu communities ezino sente ezituyamba okutegeka, bwe tuba nga tulina abeetaaga okuyamba covid wagiraba zezo sente communities zesobola okukozesa okuyamba abantu. So ba leaders naffe tuyina obuvunaanyizibwa okugamba abantu nti bane bwe mutuwa sente zino zikola kino na kino. Thank you, Julius. And of course, I know nga tumaliriza ojja kubaako kyogamba all other community leaders, most of the chairperson, the presidents of various communities, the importance or the benefit of being affiliated to UNA. Naye nga tukagenda maaso tubuulire zino convention zo zootegeka eriwa gye wasinga okukola n'owulira nti okoze.
Chantal, that's a bribe. Kubanga ova Chicago. Kati bagala kugambe walala.
Ate netuwulira ne lwaki olowooza.
Ati n'ab'e Seattle baŋŋambe nti ososola.
Naye kimanyi, but of course waliwo n'abalala abagamba naye mutuufu eri convention yalimu amaanyi.
Bana nze convention zenyumirizamu bingi. Right? Boston was wonderful because that was our first Miss Uganda North America. At that time, it wasn't. We didn't do a beauty pageant leadership program, but we did our first fashion show. So seeing all the work my wife did on stage at that time was nice. But that was my introduction to UNA. Actually, I'd been at the Denver convention before. Nengasali. Too much was involved, though I didn't have that sense of responsibility as I did from that time. Seattle was very nice because that was my first time as a director of communications. And really, that's when I learned that, the UNA convention is a big job. When mulaba abantu nga organizing a convention, I know a lot of things go wrong. Now, convention is run by about 10 people. You're over 2,000 in the hotel. Stop by and say thank you. After obaza okuyombanga ticket yo baluddewo gikuwa line mpanvu biki, yes, yomba, because as a customer you must get what you paid for. Naye after all that, bosanga omuntu oyo mu corridor, mu hallway, mugambe thank you. Because Seattle is when I learned that this is not a joking subject. And then, but Seattle was fun. I think that's when we had Chameleon, right? Or Chameleon in Chicago.
Yeah. Chameleon yali ne Chicago. Simanyi oba ne Seattle yali.
Seattle yali yani. Kati in terms of entertainment, massive. Chicago, I think that's when we had Chameleon.
I think it was Shiba.
Shiba, yes. Shiba and Irene Talley. Yes. And that was our first Miss Uganda North America as well. Very lovely. Then we had, actually our first Miss Uganda North America was Miami. I'm even forgetting. When I tuvudde wala.
Yes, ente mulidde nnyingi katotandise.
Miami, as I say, these conventions all come with something special. Miami, the beach, Intercontinental Miami, that was such a lovely experience. Just waking up and walking down to the beach. Seattle, we had a technology forum. Abana babatwalako ku Microsoft, Amazon. That was beautiful, right? And then Chicago, serving a mungeri enjawulo, right? Chicago, I left early morning on Monday, I think like 6 a.m. Napuya njala nakava mazika nga nyomba buyombi.
Na lwaki oyomba?
Chameleon yali ku stage. Nibanga sawa yagenda. I think that was the convention. And then the online convention, to be honest, that was my proudest moment because the executive secretary and myself, we really struggled with how we're going to pull this off. And we took it day by day, planned it, and we pulled it off. And it was very successful. We did some things for the first time ever. And that was a different take at the convention. And then Ohio, we had no artists. I was like, is this going to happen? At Ohio, nayo never yanjawulo, because I've actually never seen Ugandans as happy as I saw them in Ohio. It was almost like convention is over. This is wonderful. People actually started to recover from the pandemic, and the UNA executive, you'll never know what you did for the community in Ohio. That was massive because people started to heal from all the things they had gone through throughout the convention. So for me, I can't say that I have a favorite convention, Shani. I just think that every convention is different. And I urge people to participate, because only when you participate is when you pick memories like this. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okyatutwala maaso tubuulira. Of course, as a communications director, I know not only do you serve during the convention, but actually your role osigala okola.
Yes.
Whether it's a convention, and maybe one thing I want to remind our viewers watching us online and watching us live is that we are going through the UNA. We are not only talking about the convention, but also other programs of UNA. Omanyi abantu abasinga bamanyi UNA convention, but every time I'm given an opportunity to talk about UNA, I talk about UNA programs. Convention is part of the programs. Lwakubayo ebeerayo once a year. Ate kye kintu abasinga kye bajjumbira okujja awamu. Zino endala programs togenda kulaba bantu wamu zikola maybe locally. But UNA eyina programs nyingi, eyina initiatives nyingi, eyina, for instance, I think it was during your administration when you mwatandikawo the insurance program, the repatriation program. I think it's that time when mwatandikawo
with the Henrietta and Lambert, yes.
Yes, with Henrietta and Lambert. Yeah, their first term. That's when they also introduced the education program, whereby they, I think they recommend or they have universities that they work with for scholarships. Kwegamba waliwo opportunities ebintu bye tusobola okwenyumirizaamu nga bannayuganda ne tutunuulira above convention. Naye ne tulowooza convention nga tennajja. Nze nga munnayuganda bwe nfuna ekizibu UNA weeyaayu. Wano
sorry, network like ebusemu naye kyembadde n'okugamba before even before that, one of the proudest moments of UNA that I don't think was celebrated enough, the Fistula Hospital in northern Uganda. Yes, that was a project that was promoted a lot by UNA, and a lot of money was actually collected by that executive on behalf of the Fistula Hospital. It's now up and thriving and healing women in northern Uganda, and it's one of only 2 in sub-Saharan Africa, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Wow.
So I feel like we should use the convention to celebrate these things more than we actually do, right? But like you said, another one that's really impactful is the National ID program, right?
Yes.
They've been to Dallas, they've been to other states, I'm sure they've been to Chicago. This is UNA extending service.
Era bannanga akalango katukayiseeko wano bannange.
Bajjeko wammwe.
Bajjeko ewaffe. But I mean they were in Midwest, bali Minneapolis.
Mwa balina president temwetaaga benefits ndala ekyo kibamala.
In fact, now being that president faaba muyina bina kusookera eno naye omanyi anti tebisookerayo kyekyewuunyiso manyi munange omuntu ali abalansinga eryato. So ndowooza wali need asooka okulaba, you know. Fenga the ShanieShow wano tukikube, we celebrate buli achievement ebeerawo mu UNA, kubanga buli achievement ebeerawo mu UNA ffe tukitwala nti si ya UNA ng'ekibiina wabula y'abannayuganda ababeera mu North America. And guess what, there are some programs ezigenda okubeerawo nga ne bw'oba toli member wa UNA so you can benefit. So ekyo kyengamba abantu nti oyinza okugamba nze ebyo ebya UNA tebinkwatako bantu genda kulya kusanyuka kudigida, naye waliwo program egenda okujja mu kitundu kyo nga teweetaaga na kubeera UNA member. For instance, drive yaliwo eyandaga muntu. You didn't, abantu bali tebeetaaga kubeera ba UNA members kubanga oli munnayuganda oba bino. So waliwo ebintu nga bitunuulire nga tobitadde ku level ya kibiina olw'okuba kirimu temukwatagana oba waliwo ensonga, naye kitunuulire in a bigger picture.
UNA is us.
Yes, UNA is us. UNA is our children. Abaana baffe be tulina okutunuulira kubanga ffe bino ebifo bye twogera wano tugenda kuvaawo, bye twogedde bigenda sigalawo, ne bye tukoze bigenda sigalawo. Abaana baffe bagenda okujja batandikireko batwale mu maaso. So sebo tubadde tukyatambula. Miss UNA tugisuubire ddi ebadde esiriikiridde oba mufumbatti oba mukyala gwe naakyaza wano atunnyonnyole oba olina ky'oyinza otugambako kubanza abantu bambuuza naye Shani abaana baffe bali wano beesunga kgenda baagala kgenda mu mwoleso baagala kgenda to be part kati ffe nembagamba nja kubaleeta wano mbakyaze.
Convention I mean Miss Uganda North America ojja kuleeta omukyalo era ajja okukunnyonnyola naye nga ojja mukyaza naye nga yonga program it's still there era pandemic nga bwebimanyi nti it really wasn't a cheap program to run. It was very expensive actually kubanga abo abaana bajjanga Monday for the leadership boot camp. Sometimes Monday, sometimes Tuesday. You have to put them up in a hotel or an Airbnb for all those days. And then you have to invite mentors to participate. And some mentors you had to facilitate. Some were volunteers. And then after that, of course, the convention happens. And then, they are again hosted at the hotel throughout the convention. And in order to put on the show, you had put on a successful show means you have to have successful stage lighting and all that. It's not cheap at all. And then after that we had to, of course, give scholarships to the winners. And then after that we go to Uganda. In Uganda, we do the CARES tour where they go on a tourism trip, but also they go visit some important cultural sites. They visit schools to, conduct to pass.
Okay, our dear viewers, we are just having a technical problem with our host, Okomio. Okay, you're back. Yeah, so
it's a very expensive program to run. So because pandemic happened, we had to take a step back, and so I think now we might be in the position where we can plan for the next one next year. Details.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Julius. And of course, in the interest of time, ndabanga obudde bugendera naye nga tetunava wano. Yonna yasabuukuludde app. Yasabuukuludde app.
Nagirabye.
Wagirabye ojogerako.
Era njiina wano.
Okay.
Sagala kwogera tantu bagamba akola ki atubuza.
Oyina notulagako. Oh yes.
Iyo app.
Ojogerako ki eri user friendly. Nzibu abantu baffe ab'omu communities banaabitegeera like what value is it adding? Like I know that tuli mu mulembe gwa technology naye the use of technology in our communities. How is it going to benefit or how abantu baffe bagenda giganyulwamu batya?
I was really excited. I congratulate the UNA executive for pulling off mobile app because it's the next step. It really shows progress, right? We are coming into the current times. Yes. So mwebale nnyo mulimo ogwo. I used the app as the date came out. I registered myself. Ne browsingako katono ndaba nti abantu basobola okulaba program, basobola okugenda ku convention registration. You can basically byenalabyeko kugamba ebyasinze okunkwasa like okumpa essanyu nti convention program eri at your fingertips. You can see the speakers, you can get recommendations for things to do, places to go. Kwegamba anytime wabera convention nga teweetaaga kujjayo browser noteekamu nti www.tunaonline.org ate network ebuze ate page teloading, right? Well, let's say ngoli convention onoonya program, imagine it being at your fingertips. It's exciting. Nze nja kutambulanga ne app yange era omuntu enambuza directions mugirayo app nemuga leeta nkulage bagi downloading, right? It is tremendous. Naye nga tuvudde awo it is a stepping stone, right? First of all, when some kind of calamities happen in the US or North America, you want to know who is safe and who is not, right? And people take for granted often what we can do for each other, right? Omuntu agenda okuddukira, yes, oyinza okugenda mu ddwaliro, you get help, but there's nothing more lonely than being in a hospital by yourself, right? But the UNA app, I think, can step up in the future and become a place where people can indicate whether they are safe or not safe. Because with an app, we know where you're located. So if something goes wrong, we can actually send a beep and say, are you safe? And if you say no, or you don't respond, now we ask someone in your neighborhood to check on you because you may not be okay, right? That's one thing. Networking, right? We can now start to use this app for creating networking opportunities, right? It's at your fingertips because you don't have to go to a website to see what's happening. It's easier for us to reach out to you and say, this is what's happening in your neighborhood. Show up, right? Other things like generating revenue for the organization, it's also possible that we can give sponsors more value through this mobile application. And generally community building. This is, there's nothing that creates togetherness more than a mobile application if you do it right. So this is community building 101. So I really recommend the executive for pulling this off. Well done.
Yes. Okay. Of course, here on the ShanieShow, we are always honored to host abantu betuyita ne mujja twegattako. And of course, like I said, things that we share here si bya show yokka wabula bya abantu bonna abatuwuliriza, abatulaba, abaagala okumanya. And before nga tetunava ku mukutu, ssebo mbadde nkusaba si kutumira wabula okwowole other community leaders bannaye bagambe batwegatteko na convention ebirungi ebiri mu kwegatta ku UNA as a community. Obitugambyeko naye ssebo babuulire bajje batwegatteko mu convention egenda okubeera e San Francisco this year.
Nga sinaba kukwata ku bakulembeze kansoke nkwate ku bantu baffe abawaki.
Yes.
The UNA convention is about business, culture, networking, entertainment, and discovery. It's very intentional that we put entertainment last or second last.
Yeah.
Because si kyekikulu ekitwala mu convention. Kituufu Abannayuganda tunyumirwa okudigida era teri atusinga. Naye emisana we are creating opportunities for each other and for our children and for ourselves, really. We meet people. Convention is one place you rub shoulders with an MP. You'll be surprised. You have a land wrangle back home. Ekulemye ekumazeeko n'amagezi n'obumpinga mu muntu convention nga kyadiringamu bye by'ettaka n'omutuuzaano nga let me buy you lunch n'omuyitiramu n'akuwa business card ne bw'oba tozze Uganda for the next 5 years yoyo omuntu asobola okukola ki okubeera very influential in helping you resolve such issues. So these people come to the convention and the nice thing is they Kampala okuyingira office ye wenakusooka kukola appointment naye wano omusanga ku breakfast. Right? So this is so important that people learn that when we say trade and investment forum, we're not saying only that abalina businesses mujje. Niye buli muntu genda mu trade and investment forum oyige what are the opportunities to invest in Uganda. Naye kati baataddewo even how to invest in North America.
Yes.
These are things wajja okulaba nga munaakuyiseeko ate otandika okunyiiga nti oyo akajja wano ate ampiseko atya. But you didn't show up when this information was available. Let's show up and attend these things because the UNA convention, we play hard, but we also work hard at the convention. We actually work hard when we know what brought us. So yeah, like I said, it's business, culture. Don't miss the cultural aspect. Banange. Sunday night.
Yes.
Amasuti n'amagomesi n'amakanzu. Right? We need to celebrate our culture.
Actually, this year is going to be the other way around. Friday, bagitumye culture day.
Night.
So culture Friday genda kubeera culture, abasajja mugire mu makanzu, abakyala mugire mu ggomesi ab'emishana n'abo
Ab'emishanana.
byonna kyolaba nti gwe kijja mu kategori y'okuba
Engoye z'abakyoli baziyita batya?
katugende nti kale culture wear
Yes. Mubijjeeyo bambi, mujje nazo.
zonna bazijjeyo buli kimu mukirete. Friday is going to be a culture day kubanga wagenda kubeerawo Una's Got Talent. And then our opening ceremony egenda kubeera ya culture. Then of course later in the day wagenda kubeera yo Una's Got Talent. Mpozi n'ekirala, I want to remind all the people that program kweri ku app okuvira ddala from Friday, the times wawosanga ki byonna kwebiri ku app. So abantu mwenamba sabanti download the app, make use of it. It has the program, it has the registration, and actually those who are still struggling to register online on www can always register using the app. So ebintu byonna nga Mr. Kabugu Julius wagambye technology.
Yes.
So tulina okweyagaliramu. And of course before we end our show today, Julius, as tuchikube.com, we are very, very happy to host you, to have you here. I know this Tuchikube actually yalimu abantu bameka. Me, you, Salongo, and Ase Omugenzi. Yeah, the latest Sumpta. When we twatandika Tuchikube naye munange Salongo n'abantu ekitwalira ddala mu maaso era antumye n'akugamba nti agenda ku invitinga mu Bwengula. Obwengula is also a program on tuchikube.com. So sebo tweyanziza nnyo, tweyanzege. Thank you. I know I worked with you, but I still carry on the skills ze nakuyigirako. So I also said thank you so much.
You've done a wonderful job.
Thank you so much. Tukyakola lwakuba temunaba tusasula.
Zijja. Amanyi nga sinaba kumaliza abakulembeze kye mbadde njagala bakubiriza mu community for the convention. Waliwo ekintu kyenakoze a few days back natudde wansi neŋŋamba calculating convention costs zonna nenziteeka ku lupapula neŋŋamba kati my people, this is how much it costs to attend the convention. Okay? This is what is included on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Be frank and tell people this is what the convention is going to cost you. Make sure when your people are coming to the convention, there are no surprises. But also, abalowooza nti it's too expensive. We are breaking it down costs. So that's the least you can do for your people, is make sure that you show them the costs, help them find air tickets that are affordable. Oba hotel eganya bei nnyo, help them find nearby hotels, right? This is what we are called to do. But convention, I feel like should be a tradition for all of us. Era mukubirize nnyo abantu bajje mbegayiridde. Thank you, Shani.
Kyemmanyi oyagala kusembyayo, manyi olina abantu b'oyagala otutumira Julius.
Ntumidde abantu bange kutandika ne family. I got lots of family. Of course, starting with my wife, Julius Kabugu, my children. But I have brothers in Denver, Nevada, New York. Number 2 midday. I have lots of my parents in Denver as well. I remember 2 midday. Mwami n'omukyala Nkwanga. Then nenzako my former union executive. Muli eyo mukola mbalaba. Mwebale byemukola. Wonderful job. Keep at it. Then tuchikube.com. Thank you so much for having me. Anang. It's really very impressive what you've done in the community. Mweyongere. And then nentumira abantu bonna abalala watching a show in North America. Thank you for keeping these conversations going. We've come a long way. We actually have a lot of dialogue in our community today. And I just encourage you to keep that dialogue going. And lastly, my people back home in Uganda, nakavayeyo. So mtima gukyalyeyo. I had a good time. Mwebale kubeera welcoming. And yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shani.
Thank you so much, Julius. And I've been your host, Chantal Mbabazi, here on the ShanieShow. And my guest today are none other than Mr. Kabugu Julius, the chairperson of Austin Community, Walier, Texas. Sebo batulabire bonna. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantal. Bye.